Jai Hind friends. So today we will start with the Mauryan period and Mauryan period, Mauryan. So four things again, the main point of this series, outline of the topic, trend analysis, 50 questions and 1:4 formula. On every question we will give you 4 more questions. So Mauryan period. Now what is the central theme of Mauryan period? The central theme of Mauryan period is central theme of 6th century BC, second urbanization. E. Central theme of 6th century BC, second urbanization. I told you urbanization and the key features yesterday. Yani first E, that is first E was born, economy was born, urban economy. Urban economy was born. This second urbanization led to the birth of Mauryan Empire. This I always say E is equal to E. Economy is equal to empire. E is equal to E. Economy is equal to empire. This second urbanization led to the birth of Mauryan Empire. Just drop the message to me on this number if anyone is not responding. So 6th century BC, birth of second urbanization, that is urban economy. This urban economy gave birth to empire. E is equal to E, economy is equal to empire. I'll check it, don't worry, I'll check it, don't worry. So, economy is equal to empire. So, the central theme of this chapter is economy and empire. Central theme of this chapter is economy and empire. Now in economy, 6th century BC, Vaishyas, rise in the status of Vaishyas. Second, urban centers, cities. Second feature. Currency system. Guild system. Specialization. These were the features of the economy of 6th century BC. Now Mauryan period, dominant. The position of Vaishyas became dominant. Urban centers infinite. The Roman historian Nearchus He says infinite number of cities. Currency comes under the control of the state. State starts regulating the currency. The two officers, Lakshana Dhyaksha and Roop Darshak. Lakshana Dhyaksha and Roop Darshak, the two officers. Guild system elaborated with more powers and authorities. Specialization increases. So whatever was born in 6th century BC, it gets momentum. See, note it down. Whatever is born in 6th century BC, it gets momentum. The positions of Vaishyas is dominant now. Infinite number of cities. Currency system under the control of the state. Guild system elaborated and specialization increases. States take the charge of this specialization. Samstha Adhyaksha. Samstha Adhyaksha. Who's he? Consumer Forum. Economy. Second urbanization, the economy of second urbanization gets momentum in Mauryan period. Polity. Polity. 6th century BC. Polity. Mahajanpad. King becomes a despot. Standing army. Bureaucracy. Judiciary. Necessity is the mother of invention. 6th century BC, Mahajanpadas, bigger states, Magad, Avanti, Koshal, Ashmak, Gandhara, etc. Mauryan period. Mauryan period, polity gets developed. Arthashastra. Arthashastra. The book's name is Arthashastra. The book deals with polity. Saptang Siddhant. Saptang. Saptang theory. 7 limbs of the state, all elaborated. King. Council of Ministers, which will be elected only from bureaucracy. Bureaucracy, elaborated, developed and elaborated. Judiciary, evolved. Spy system, army, and the biggest pillar, revenue system. The soul of a state. See, Rigvedic period, Sabha, Tividad, Gad. See, the development, the evolution. Multiple questions are asked from here. This is the most crucial phase of Mauryan period. Whenever they will ask questions, they will ask from here. This is the most crucial part of Mauryan period because polity gets evolved, established, developed. This is what you do as a revision. Revision does not mean simply mugging up. No. And if you are serious for 2026 prelims, your revision should be in a proper way. If you don't do the revision in a proper way, definitely you are going to collapse. I have designed this revision course for 150 days. Every day you have a task, every day you have a guideline. Every day. So this is the crucial phase. Then the kings of Mauryan period, Chandragupta Maurya, the grand man who establishes Mauryan Empire with the help of Kautilya, Chanakya. Then comes Bindusara. He is able to handle the situation and maintain the empire and extend the empire. And then comes the great man, Ashoka. Ashoka the Great. Polity, economy, society, culture, all the aspects of the state have evolved. Well furnished, standardized, etc., etc. That standardization of every aspect, standardization of polity, standardization of economy, standardization of culture, religion, everything they'll ask. And then the later rulers, Dasharath, Kunal, and finally the last one, Brihadrata, killed by his Brahmin priest, Brahmin commander-in-chief, Pushyamitra Shunga. How these people were able to manage this empire? Their crucial contribution. What is the important part of this man? Treaty of 303 BC, Seleucus Negator. He gets the natural frontier. He is famous for what? Ambassadors. He maintains good relations with Syria, he maintains good relations with Egypt, Antiochus I and Ptolemy Philadelphus. And he is a man who standardized everything. His political theory, his theory of kingship, Kalinga War, Dhamma, social philosophy, everything, standard. And then the end of Mauryan Empire. Society, they rarely turn to the society. Although society will also develop in the same way, I am giving you the hint, just the hint. Society, they don't touch society, but then slavery system increases, untouchability gets promotion, women's status increases, Rangopajeevi, artist women, women artist. So whenever money economy will get momentum, society will be according to the money economy. 6th century BC. A rise in the status of Vaishyas, a rise in the status of Shudras, a rise in the status of women, but natural, I have discussed everything. Then birth of slavery system, I told you why. 5th, glimpses of untouchability, which was a punishment in ancient period, pre-modern period. Now, all these were because of second urbanization. Now, second urbanization is gaining momentum. So, when second urbanization is gaining momentum, but natural, the social structure, Vaishya's status will become dominant. increase in the status of Shudras, good position of women. I said Rangopjivi, artist. Slavery system developing, 9 types of slaves mentioned by Arthashastra. Untouchability gaining momentum. Although it's a period of money economy, so it is dormant. This will gain momentum, untouchability from Gupta period, feudalism. But they generally ask question from society. I have given you the 3 diagrams: economy, polity, kings and society. Trend analysis, if you see, they have asked only 3-4 questions in the past 10 years. I will discuss those questions. One question they asked from Ashoka. Then they asked about 2 questions. 2 questions from Ashoka. So in the past 10 years, 2015 to 2025, only 3 questions. And all the 3 from Ashoka and culture. So you can imagine how much time you have to pay on this chapter. And especially what you have to touch. This is a very important part of this examination. You should be aware where you have to give more time, where you have to spend more time. What are the things that they ask, the crucial areas, the core areas. So, now come to the questions, and with that formula 1:4. See, these topics will not take much time because they get stepmotherly treatment in IAS examination. So don't worry. So come to the question, the 50 questions. Oh no. Yes. Who recognized Sandracotus as Chandragupta Maurya? Answer is William Jones. A little knowledge is a dangerous thing. No. Who recognized Sandracotus as Chandragupta Maurya? William Jones. He is a man who recognized Sandracotus as Chandragupta Maurya. And these two people changed the course of history in India. One is James Princip, I'll come to that man later. Another is William Jones. Because when this freedom struggle started and English rule started, they translated Indian scriptures, Gita and this Avigyan, Shakuntalam and all, Sanskrit scriptures. So we were aware mostly about Gupta history and post-Gupta history. But we were not aware about ancient India's history, pre-Gupta history. So the moment this Prakrit and Pali languages were deciphered and Sandracotus was chalked out as Chandragupta Maurya, a new dimension of Indian history starts. So very important man, William Jones. He is a man who recognized Sandracotus as Chandragupta Maurya. R.K. Mukherjee is a man who deals with social values, social value theory he has given. V. Smith, again a very important historian. Dr. Bhandarkar is again a nationalist historian, Dr. Bhandarkar, D.R. Bhandarkar. So, according to Kautilya's Arthashastra, very important again, Arthashastra. According to Kautilya's Arthashastra, which of the followings are correct? A person, 9 types of slaves are mentioned by Arthashastra. How many types of slaves? 9 types. 9. Nine types of slaves are mentioned by Arthashastra. A person could be a slave as a result of judicial punishment. Yes. If a female slave bore her master a son, she was legally free. Correct. If a son born to a female slave was fathered by her master, the son was entitled to the legal status of the master's son. No. Answer is 1 and 2. So there were many types of slaves, 9 types of slaves, sorry, 9 types. One who was in debt and sold himself, he became a slave. One who was captured in war, he became a slave. One who was given in charity became a slave. So 9 types of slaves are mentioned by Arthashastra, slavery system. There is a particular topic, Das Kalpa. So answer is A, 1 and 2. The inscription which proves Chandragupta's sway over Western India, Junagadh rock inscription of Rudra Daman. What is the incident? The incident is he constructed a lake. He did not construct. His governor of Saurashtra, Pushyagupta, write it. This incident of constructing a lake in Girnar region by Chandragupta's governor Pushyagupta is mentioned in Junagadh rock inscription of Rudra Daman. And this gives a message that Chandragupta promotes welfare programs to win the heart of the people. He is not giving 15 lakh rupees per month. He is not promising 10,000 per month. He is not promising TV, cooler, fridge to the people. Welfare programs. So construction of a lake, Sudarshana Lake, Sudarshana, write down the name of that lake, Sudarshana Lake by Pushyagupta, the governor of Chandragupta Maurya, and this is mentioned in Junagadh rock inscription of Rudra Daman. Kalinga inscription talks about, this Kalinga inscription basically is in Dhauli and Jagoda, Odisha. Kalinga inscription, Dhauli and Jagoda, talks about Kalinga war. Dholi and Jagud. Talks about Kalinga War. Girnar rock inscription of Ashoka, major rock edict. Talks about ethical values, Dhamma. This is 1:4. Dhamma. Supara, Maharashtra, talks about trade and commerce of that area. Again the ethical values, the place which you see today in Mumbai, Nala Supara. Ashokan inscription. So third answer is C, Junagadh. Now this question is an interpolation, Dhananjay Samudragupta's contemporary, but you note down, they are very important. Actually this question is a question of Gupta period. Possibly they typed here. Samudragupta's contemporary kings. So fourth answer is C. But you write it Gupta period. I will discuss this question while I come to Gupta period, then I will discuss this question. Fourth, C. Samudragupta is not the part of Mauryans. 10th. In the course of pilgrimage, Emperor Ashoka visited the following places. Which route did he follow? Select the correct answer from the quotes given below. Now this is a question of common sense. This is a question of common sense. Ten. Three, 4, 5. The given map relates to, see the area, Kabul, Kandahar, Kashmir to Madura, Tamil Nadu. Answer is C. Ashoka towards the close of his reign. Ashoka towards the close of his reign. Fifth answer is C. Six. In which of the following inscriptions of Ashoka mention has been made of South Indian kingdoms? 6. Second major rock edict. This second major rock edict mentions about second major rock edict talks about the South Indian kingdoms of Ashoka. Second major rock edict talks about South Indian kingdoms of Ashoka. Answer is B. Sixth answer is B. Third major rock edict talks about duty of Pradeshikas and Rajukas to promote Dhamma. Third major rock edict. Note it down. It talks about the duty of Pradeshikas and Rajukas to promote Dhamma in the kingdom. Third major rock edict. Ninth major rock edict talks about condemns Useless ceremonies and functions. Useless ceremonies and functions. First pillar edict, purpose of Dhamma. First pillar edict, purpose of Dhamma. First pillar inscription. Seventh, in spite of being Buddhist, Ashoka did not leave belief in Hinduism. Validation of this fact is epithet of Devanam Priya. Devanam Priyadasi. The following Mauryan rulers were the followers of Buddhism. Chandragupta, he was a follower of Jainism. With Bhadrabahu, he went to Mysore. Last phase of his life, with Bhadrabahu, he goes to Mysore. Bhadrabahu or Stulbhadra, Vidit? He leaves the throne and goes to Mysore with whom? Bhadrabahu or Stulbhadra? Riya? With whom he goes to Mysore? Bhadrabahu or Stulbhadra? Stulbhadra. So with Stulbhadra, with whom he goes to Mysore? One question is very costly in UPSC Prelims. One question. So he goes to South India with the Jaina saints. And he performs Salekhana there, a Jaina practice. That is not suicide. That is a willful Samadhi. A willful way adopted by the soul to leave the body. But it's very tough and challenging. Very tough and challenging. Ashoka was a Buddhist and he was very much influenced by Moggaliputtas. Bindusara was an Ajivak and he was impressed by Pingalvats, Ajivak saint Pingalvats. A very famous Ajivak saint Pingalvats was in his encode, Pingalvats. Pingalvats was a person who made a prophecy that Ashoka will become great. Dasharath. So Ashoka and Dasharath both were Buddhist. 2 and 4. Answer is D. Please don't give the answer without checking the fact. One question can be very costly for you in this examination. So don't do this. Bhadrabahu. He went to Mysore with Bhadrabahu. It was also ancient name of world famous tourist destination of Sanchi. Kaknam. Old name of Sanchi. Ventravati. It is in Karnataka. Ventravati is in Karnataka and it's a very famous Neolithic ash mound. Ventravati, it is in Karnataka and a very famous Neolithic ash mound. Base Nagari is Vidisha. This is the Vidisha. Base Nagari, Vidisha. Famous for Heliodorus, the ambassador of Antiochus, constructing Garud pillar. Dashpura is famous for Yashodharman. Mandasore, ancient name of Mandasore, and is famous, very famous for Yashodharman, the king Yashodharman. So 9th A. 10th, I will not do all the questions 1:4. In the course of pilgrimage, Ashoka visited the following places. Which route did he follow? Select the correct answer from the codes given below. Now, Ashoka is sitting in Patliputra. So, what is close to Patliputra? Gaya. So, he will visit Gaya. Gaya. Then after Gaya, he will come to Kapilvastu. Sorry, he'll come to Lumbini, the birthplace of Buddha. Sorry, he'll come to Lumbini. Then he'll come to Gaya, Kapilvastu. Then he'll come to Gaya, where he got enlightenment. Then Sharavasti, where he gave the Sarnath, where he gave the first sermon. Then Kushinagar, where he died. And finally Sharavasti. So answer is D. 421536. 10th answer is D. The first scholar who read Ashokan edicts. Question 11. Which of the above are correctly matched? Choose the answer from the codes below. Officers of Mauryan period, very crucial. Vyavaharik Mahamata, judicial officer but clear. Sena Nayak Mahamata, military officer. Sabataka Mahamata, chief minister. Donam Pakam Mahamata, assessment officer. All of them are correct. Very important officers of Mauryan period, very important. Few more names will be given later on. Question number 12. Who of the following had first deciphered the edicts of Ashokan, of Emperor Ashoka? James Princip. Very important name. The man who reincarnated the ancient Indian history, the Mauryan history, and changed the course of history in India. James Princip. William Jones, he is responsible for the translation of Indian scriptures. Max Muller, the Aryan theory. Which one of the following statements regarding Ashokan stone pillars is incorrect? These are highly polished, correct. These are monolithic, correct. The shaft of pillars is tapering in shape, correct. These are parts of architectural structures. Are they part of architectural structures? Stoop, Vihara? No, they are independent structures. So D is incorrect. 14. Which of the following inscriptions belong to Dasratha, one of the later Mauryan? One of the later Mauryas, Dashratha. He gets references, Dashratha. Nagarjuni hill cave inscription. Sogora, Mahastan in Assam, they talk about the drought of Mauryan period. Junagadh we have already discussed. So, C, 14C. 15. In which of the following inscriptions the name of Ashoka has been mentioned? 15. Minor rock edict of Musky. So, question mark on all the three pillar edicts. Just put a question mark after the session, do the homework. Bhabru edict, important for what? Don't leave because they all are important. Bhabru, Rock Edict 13, Rumandi pillar inscriptions. Musky. following rock edict of Ashoka speaks of religious synthesis? 16. Rock edict 12. Sar Vriddhi. The term given in this edict is Sar Vriddhi, right? Sar Vriddhi. The term Sar Vriddhi means that every individual should be aware about the basic principles of all the religion. And if you are aware about the basic principles of all the religion, you will be clear about the philosophy of the religion. So 16A, rock edict 12. 17. Which Ashokan rock edict describes the victory of and injuries of the Kalingan war? Rock edict 13. So 1, 2, 12, 12 we have already discussed, 1 and 2. Don't leave them. Put a question mark on 1 and 2. 17. Who among the following rulers advised his subjects through his inscription? Whosoever praises his religious sect or blames sects out of excessive devotion to his own sect, with view of glorifying his own sect, he rather injures own sect very severely. Who else will do this? Ashoka. Samudragupta cannot do. Harshvardhana. He faced the heat of feudal Brahminical structure. Krishnadeva Raya was not facing unity in diversity. Ashoka was facing unity in diversity. This is a very famous statement of Ashoka, and he is the only king who talks to his people through his inscriptions. So Ashoka is the answer. "19. The central point in Ashoka's Dhamma is loyalty to the king, yes. Peace and non-violence, yes. Respect to elders, yes. Religious tolerance, yes. None of the above or more than one of them. E is the answer. 19E. 20. Which of the following ancient Indian is the ancient Indian records is the earliest royal order to preserve food grains to be utilized during the crisis in the country? Sohgaura and Mahastan, both in Bengal and Assam. Sohgaura and Mahastan. They talk about famine during Mauryan period. Sohgaura and Mahastan, Bengal and Assam, they talk about famine. So 20th answer is A. Prayag Prashasti deals about Samudragupta. Mehrauli, Chandragupta Vikramaditya. 21. Ashoka annexed Kalinga to the Mauryan Empire. Assertion, correct. Kalinga controlled the land and sea routes to South India, correct. Answer is A. 21A. Both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. 21A. 22. The Mauryan kings did not bestow land grants on religious basis. True. The peasants revolted against land grants. Why they will revolt? C. A is true, R is false. Land grants. But these type of land grants were not the land grants which were given during feudalism. These land grants, only the land income was given to the donor. Land was never given. The thing which you will see in Gupta period, post-Gupta period, the land grants leading to the birth of feudalism, that was not the case here. Only the income of the land was given to the donor. Otherwise, the entire land belonged to the king. So 22, answer is C. 23. In how many categories did Megasthenes divide the Indian society? 7. First one, philosopher. At least you should know the first 4. There is a temple nearby. So you have to enjoy this evening prayer of the temple. You have to enjoy this evening prayer. Seven. Note down all the 7. Please write here and note it down all the 7. At least the first one and the last one. 24. The division of Mauryan society into 24. Which Ceylonese ruler is said to have made himself on the lines of Ashoka? Tissa. Very famous Sri Lankan ruler, Tissa. He copied Ashoka and followed the path of Ashoka. In the Mauryan period, tax evasion was punished with death. Tax is the soul of the empire. How many types of land taxes? Land tax. Important land tax, Bali. Traditional tax, Bali. Bhag, 1/4 to 1/6, the regular tax. Hiranya, the tax on cash crops. Pranay, emergency tax. These 4 land taxes were very important. Again, Bali, traditional tax. Gift to the king, Bhag, regular tax, 1/4 to 1/6. Hiranya, the tax on cash crops. Hiranya. Pranay, emergency tax. Then sale tax. Then custom duty. Then fine. The state runs on taxes. So if you evade the tax, death. This should be followed by Indian government today. This should be followed by Indian government today, so that they can save India. Tax evasion. (25). 26. Which function of the present municipal administration has been continuous from the time of Mauryan period? Registration of birth and death. For others, we have a department now. Registration of birth and death. And this was related to, every city has 6 committees. Note it down here. Every city has 6 committees, 6. Five members each. A committee for foreigners, sale tax, trade and commerce, birth and death, quality of goods and production. Very important feature of Mauryan urban centers. Very important feature. 26. C. But right here in bracket, city administration of Mauryans. 6 committees, 5 members each. Please note down all the 6 committees. They are very important. City administration. I said I have discussed 1:4 formula in the first 15 questions. Land revenue, which was the chief source of income during the Mauryan period, was collected by which officer? Agronomoi. He was the officer of road, construction of road. I have given one question on this. Shulka Adhyaksha, custom officer. Akara Adhyaksha, officer of mines. So, Sita Adhyaksha, he is officer of land. and also the officer responsible for revenue collection. Agronomy, construction of road, Shulka Adhyaksha, custom officer, Akara Adhyaksha, the officer of mines, and Sita Adhyaksh, the officer of land, crown land. The officer of crown land and also related to land revenue. How many types of land revenue? 4 types. Bali, Bhag, Hiranya, Pranay, emergency tax. The official agronomy during the Mauryan age was related to with which of the following fields? Construction of roads. Weight and measurement. Samstha Adhyaksha. (29) Answer is B. Talar, officer of night guards. Pattakola, village tax collector. Shahasdipati, officer of cases of dacoity. Baladeb, god of octroi. 29 B. 30. Consider the following statements. The last Mauryan ruler Brihad was assassinated by his commander-in-chief Pushyamitra Shunga. Correct. The last Shunga king Devbhuti was assassinated by his Brahmin minister Vasudev Kanwa, who usurped the throne. Correct. The last ruler of Kanwa dynasty was deposed by the Andhras. Correct. All of them are correct. Shunga dynasty, Pushyamitra Shunga. Important facts, note it down. Pushyamitra Shunga patronized Brahmanism, performed Ashwamegh, 4 Ashwameghas. Pushyamitra Shunga patronized Brahmanism, performed 4 Ashwameghas. His court was famous for a very famous scholar of India, Patanjali. Who was the priest? Patanjali was the priest. Andhras or Satavahanas? 30. In which of the following relief scripture inscriptions is Ranyu Ashoka? Ranyu matlab King Ashoka, mentioned along with the stone portrait of Ashoka. 31. This was asked in, these 3 questions have been asked in the last 10 years. Only these 3 questions. You can write it. Trend analysis. Only these 3 questions have been asked in the past 10 years. Kanganahalli. Kanganahalli is in Karnataka. Sanchi Stupa talks about Schism edict. Schism. Ashoka gives the clear-cut warning in Sanchi sculpture, Sanchi Stupa, that anyone who will try to disturb Buddhism will be punished. Sogara, famine. Shahbaz Gadi, welfare and non-violence. Sanchi talks about it's a schism edict. Sogara, famine. Shahbaz Gadi, non-violence and welfare. Human being and animal both. With reference to the cultural history of India, the memorizing of chronicles, dynastic histories and epic tales was the profession of Who of the following? Shramanas, sannyasi, parivarjakas, tapasvis, agrarika, revenue officer of agrahar villages, Magadhas. Answer is D. Shramana, sannyasi, parivrajaka, agraharika. (33) Ashokan inscriptions suggest that Pradeshika, Rajuka and Yukta were important officers at district level. So, central level, king, provincial level, governor, village level, Rajukas. Village level, Rajukas. District level, Pradeshika, Rajuka and Yukta. Provincial, governors. Level of central administration, king. 34. Arthashastra deals with Arthashastra deals with the administration of test of loyalty to the ministers. Yes. What was the name of that test? Right. Upadha test. Upadha. 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 Appointment of adhyakshas for different industries and markets. Correct. How many adhyakshas were there? 24. 27 adhyakshas. Related to society and economy. 27. Assignment of lands to officers for their services. No, this practice started in Gupta period. Appointment of an adhyaksha for agriculture, correct, Sita adhyaksha. Assignment of different duties to various provincial officials, no. Answer is C, 1, 2 and 4. So, 3 type of officers are there. Tirthas, note it down, the highest officers, 18 in number. 3 type of officers in Mauryan period, Tirthas, 18 in number, the highest officers of Mauryan period, Tirthas. Mahishi, the chief queen, Yuvraj, Purohit, Senani, they all came in Tirthas. Then Adhyakshas, 27 in number, so related to society and economy, and then Yuktas, secretaries. So, 37, 4, C, 1, 2 and 4. 35. Consider the following statements. We shall send you figs and the wine, but in Greece the law forbids a sophist to be sold. Bindusara asked these 3 things from the ruler of Syria, Antiochus I. And then he gives the reply. Bhai, sorry, we cannot send the philosophers to your country. 35. (36) Which of the following are not correct regarding the trade and commerce in the Mauryan period? Tax was exempted on some of the manufactured goods. Never. Tax on taken on dead body also. Date was stamped on the manufactured goods in order to distinguish the old and new, correct. Who did it? Samstha-Adhyaksh. Whose duty was to find all these things? Samstha-Adhyaksh. Samstha-Adhyaksh means the officer of consumer forum. A trade tax was fixed at 1/5 of the value, and in addition there was a toll tax of 1/5 of the trade tax, correct. Prices were controlled to prevent too great a profit on the part of the merchants. No. Yes. Private prices were controlled, prices were regulated. Money lending was not approved by all the contemporary texts. How this urbanization will survive? If without banks, is there any possibility of urban economy? No. So 1 and 5 are incorrect. 36C. Thirty-seven. Status of women. I have already discussed. Women. In urban economy, women will have a good position. Which of the following statements according to Megasthenes are correct regarding the status of women in the Mauryan period? Growing practice of polygamy among ruling class. Ruling class, it will be there. Employment of women as palace guards and bodyguards to the king, correct. Permission of widow marriage, yes. Permission to divorce, all of them are correct. 37. 38. Foreign currency. 38. Mauryans issued a good number of punch-mark coins, yes. The coins of Ashoka were more than that of any other Mauryan ruler, incorrect. They enable us to know about the economic conditions of the Mauryan period, true. The symbols of the Mauryan coins are definitely official markings, yes. 1, 3 and 4. Answer is D. And currency came under the control of the state. There were two officers. First one, Roop Darshak, the person who used to check the coin. Matlab, whether it is a counterfeit. If anyone gives you a 500 rupee note, what do you do immediately? You check it. So Roop Darshak was to check the currency. Real and counterfeit coins. And Lakshanadhyaksh to print the currency. And Mauryan charged 13.5% of the amount to be issued. If you order that I want 100 rupees coin, they will take 13.5% from you. 38. 39. Which of the following southern kingdoms were contemporaries of Ashoka? One, 2, 4 and 5. Keralaputras, Cholas, Pallavas, Satyaputras, Pandyas, medieval India. 39. 40. In the ladder of Mauryan administration, who were just below the Pradeshikas? Rajukas, Sthaniks, district officers, Samahartas, tax collectors, Sanidhata, tax assessment, Samaharta, tax collector. Please check it, put a star here. Yuktas, secretaries. 41. Which of the following pair is not correctly matched? 41. Jataka, socio-economic condition of the Mauryas, correct. Puranas, Mauryans belong to the Vaishya Varna. How can they call Puranas, Mauryans as Vaishyas? Anyone who will stand in the support of Buddhism and Jainism will never be supported by Puranas. Puranas are Brahminical text. Wrong. B is wrong. Dipavamsha, Ashoka's efforts to spread Buddhism in Sri Lanka, correct. Dignikai, influence of Buddhist ideas on Mauryan polity. So B is incorrectly matched. 41B. 42. Who saw Ashoka's statue dressed in a monk robe? Itsing. 42A. Faihan. He says Chandragupta's palace was constructed by Devas. So Itsing talks about Ashoka dressed in a monk. Faihan talks about Chandragupta's palace constructed by gods. Humansang during the time of Harshvardhana. 43. Roop Darshak. Again, this I have discussed already. Roop Darshak in the Mauryan administration, examiner of gold, silver and copper coin. 43B. Sorry. Acha, coin, coin, sorry. C, examiner of punch marked coins, sorry. Not examiner of gold, silver and copper, sorry. 43C. 44. Match the following. I hope it's a very simple question. Ashwadhyaksha. Consider the following. Which of the are correctly matched? 1, 2. Are correctly matched. 44. D, 1 and 2. Ratha Adhyaksha. Chariot. Pada Adhyaksha, infantry. Hasta Adhyaksha, elephant. Hasta Adhyaksha will be elephant. Pada Adhyaksha, infantry. Ratha Adhyaksha, chariot. So 44D. 45. Kantak Shodhan was of the Mauryan period. Criminal codes. Two codes were very famous. Kantak Shodhan and Dharmasthiya. Dharmasthiya, civil code. Write it down. Dharmasthiya, civil code. Kantak Shodhan, criminal codes. Now this unit of villages are important. They have asked, earlier they have asked. 1990 they have asked this unit of villages. 46, Dronamukha, how many villages? Karavatika, Sangrahamna, Sthaniye. 46. Answer is D. 47. Rulers. During the time of Mauryans. Ptolemy Philadelphus, Egypt. Antiochus, Syria. So all the famous rulers, 47. Now you should note down here, put a question mark. How many of them sent ambassadors to the Mauryan court? Antiochus sends the ambassador and Ptolemy sends the ambassador. Dionysius and Dimachus, two very famous ambassadors, Dionysius and Dimachus. Megasthenes, Chandragupta Maurya, Seleucus Nicator, Dionysius and Dimachus. 48. Who is the queen of Ashoka mentioned in the Queen's Edict as making religious and charitable donations? Karuvaki, 48D, very famous. She and her son both are mentioned, Kunal. 49. Who among the following queens of Ashoka, according to Mahavamsha, injured the Bodhi tree by piercing it with a poisonous thorn? Tisharaka. In the Mauryan period, the free labourers working for a regular wage in the guilds were known as 50. Karmakaras, Britakas. So these were the 4 things of today's test paper. Hope you got all the aspect of Mauryans. I discussed all the 4 things: outline, trend analysis, 50 questions, 1:4 formula, and you would have revised this chapter Mauryan period. 150 days. I tell you, don't worry. And geography teacher, wonderful teacher. Economy, awesome. Mala, I will give highest salary to the teachers. Don't worry. I will not bring teachers of 500 rupees per hour. Don't worry. 150 days. Completely aligned with the test. Completely. 150 days, you don't have to worry. Every day I will be with you. And in the morning, you can attend morning dhyan and meditation class. It will be very helpful to you. 150 days, don't worry. 150 days, 150 tests. And objective is to make you disciplined and to give you direction. So don't worry. Morning 6 a.m. Dhyan and yoga classes. So tomorrow we'll discuss about post Maurya.